Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here. If you're a focused learner looking to level up your strategic game, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're going to transform financial forecasting from what's often a really painful once-a-year chore into a highly strategic GPS for your business. We're talking about taking your raw data, trends, and numbers and turning them into real, actionable foresight.
Okay, let's dive into this with a question that honestly plagues almost every executive and business owner out there. What is the single biggest barrier to actually executing a business strategy? Think about it for a second. You spend weeks building this beautiful 5-year plan, you set the objectives, map out the goals, but then day-to-day operations take over, and that strategic plan, it just gathers dust on a digital shelf. So why does this happen so frequently?
Well, the data paints a pretty staggering picture here. According to the Corporate Finance Institute, a massive 60% of organizations completely fail to link their budgets to their overall long-term strategy. I mean, think about that. More than half. This means that while leadership is up there dreaming about where the company needs to be in 5 years, the actual money being spent right now has basically zero connection to getting them there. That bridge between the vision and the reality is just completely broken.
So here's our roadmap for today. 1. The spreadsheet trap. 2. Budgeting versus forecasting. 3. 5 steps to modern forecasting. 4. Planning for uncertainty. And 5. Collaboration and variance analysis.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the spreadsheet trap.
Look, spreadsheets are undeniably powerful, right? But as the Finance Weekly points out, they really just weren't designed for modern, agile financial forecasting. What usually starts out as a simple, elegant workbook quickly devolves into this terrifying web of broken formulas and hidden tabs. And honestly, this leads to 3 major headaches. First up, version confusion. We've all seen those files named forecast_final_V4_actually_final, right? It's a mess because everyone's working off different numbers. Second, manual errors. Literally, a single missed cell reference can throw off your cash flow projections by thousands of dollars. And third, limited collaboration. Emailing attachments back and forth just doesn't cut it when you need real-time agility. Bottom line, when you depend solely on spreadsheets, your speed and your accuracy take a massive hit.
Moving right along to Section 2, budgeting versus forecasting. To clear up a really common mix-up, think of your budget as your destination. It's fixed. It's that specific financial goal you set at the beginning of the year, outlining exactly where you want to go and how you're going to allocate resources to get there. Forecasting, on the other hand, is your GPS. It's ongoing, it's flexible. As market conditions change, as you hit traffic or unexpected roadblocks, your forecast recalculates the route. So budgets set the goal, but forecasts guide you around those real-time obstacles so you don't end up crashing your business. And to make that GPS as accurate as possible, the best companies use what's called a rolling forecast. Instead of just forecasting strictly to the end of the calendar year, a rolling forecast continually drops a completed month or quarter and then adds a new one to the end. This gives you this continuous 12 to 18-month view into the future. But crucially, as NetSuite highlights, it actualizes the data. It replaces what you hoped would happen last month with what actually happened, which really grounds your projections in reality rather than just wishful thinking.
Which brings us to Section 3, 5 steps to modern forecasting.
Sage outlines these 5 sequential steps perfectly. Step 1. Define your assumptions. Are you predicting a 4% inflation rate, maybe a hiring freeze? Whatever it is, get those down on paper. Step 2 is where the magic really happens. Gather and connect your data. Instead of manually typing in numbers, modern tools automatically integrate real-time data directly from your CRM, your customer relationship management software, and your ERP accounting systems. This entirely eliminates those manual entry errors we talked about earlier. Then, Step 3 is preliminary analysis. You're looking for trends or seasonality here. Step 4, choose your method. Are you just extrapolating past trends, or maybe using complex regression? And finally, Step 5, review and iterate. Remember, forecasting is a continuous loop, definitely not a one-and-done chore.
Let's transition into Section 4, planning for uncertainty.
And this brilliantly illustrates how we protect that forecast. Let's look at a real-world manufacturing example from Sage to make scenario planning tangible. Imagine you rely on imported raw materials, and suddenly rumors start swirling about new tariffs. Rather than panicking, you use scenario planning. You model 3 distinct realities. You have your base case, where nothing changes, your likely case, where costs jump by maybe 10%, and your worst case, where costs spike by 20% and customs delays seriously slow down your supply chain. Having these models ready to go means if the news breaks, you aren't guessing. You already know if you need to raise your prices, switch suppliers, or delay a product launch. Scenario planning literally takes uncertainty and makes it actionable.
Finally, we arrive at Section 5, Collaboration and Variance Analysis.
The absolutely crucial point here is that keeping forecasts confined strictly to the finance department is a massive mistake. As the Finance Weekly notes, the people who actually know what's happening on the ground are in sales, operations, and HR. Think about it. If sales knows a huge client is about to churn, but finance is still projecting steady growth, well, your forecast is useless. Involving these operational and sales departments directly into shared, centralized models ensures your numbers are actually accurate, and just as importantly, it guarantees everyone has buy-in on the targets.
Now, once everyone is on board, you need a way to measure how you're actually doing. Enter variance analysis. This is simply evaluating the difference between what you budgeted and what you actually spent or earned. But it's way more than just a math equation. Variance analysis moves a team from just looking at what numbers changed to deeply understanding why they changed. Did your profits drop because of internal inefficiency, or was it external market forces? You absolutely have to know the why to fix the problem. QuickBooks actually breaks down variance into a few key types to help you pinpoint the exact issues. First, you have material efficiency variance. Basically, are you wasting too much fabric when making clothes, or maybe paying too much for it? Then there's labor variance. Are tasks taking 5 hours when you only budgeted for 4? Overhead variance helps you track those fixed and variable facility costs. And lastly, sales volume variance tells you if you missed your target of, say, selling 100 units. By routinely checking these specific variances, you completely stop relying on guesswork. You can quickly identify trends, control costs, and give your business a serious competitive advantage.
Which brings us to our final thought for today. The overarching theme from all our sources is beautifully summed up by this quote from Sage. Make financial uncertainty your competitive edge. The future is always unpredictable, sure, but your response to it doesn't have to be. So I want to leave you with this final provocative question to think about. As your business moves forward, will you just blindly react to whatever the future throws at you? Or will you build the systems to forecast, adapt, and lead? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.